The average person sees over 5,000 advertisements every single day, each one crafted by teams of psychological experts with one goal: to manipulate you into submission. The modern world has developed an ingenious system. Make people comfortable enough that they won't rebel, but desperate enough that they can't afford to stop consuming. The perfect trap. Do you think you are truly free, or just moving between different forms of captivity? Your anger isn't irrational. It's the last defense mechanism of a mind fighting to stay free. Today, we're diving into why your anger might be the most rational response to an irrational world, and how your anger fuels revolutions. Ever notice how we're trained to apologize for our anger? Don't be so emotional, they say. But listen closely. Those who benefit from your complacency are always the first to tell you to calm down. Plato understood this when he wrote, "The price of apathy towards public affairs is to be ruled by evil men." Your anger isn't a design flaw, it's a feature of a functioning conscience. Let's be crystal clear. This isn't about hatred. Hatred is blind. The anger I'm talking about is the opposite. It comes from seeing too clearly, from refusing to look away when others do, from recognizing patterns of injustice that become invisible through normalization. Consider this. In 1972, psychologist Merlin White conducted a famous experiment. He placed a group of people in a room where the temperature was slowly raised 1 degree every 15 minutes. Most participants never complained. When asked later why they didn't speak up as the room became uncomfortably hot, they said they assumed if something was wrong, someone else would have mentioned it. This is exactly how societies collapse, not with a bang, but with polite silence. Have you ever felt that gnawing sensation? That whisper telling you something fundamental is broken in the way we live? That's not depression. That's not anxiety. That's your humanity screaming for air in a system designed to suffocate it. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Alice Walker understood something essential about human nature. We've been conditioned to believe our anger is impotent, that systems are too big to change, that power is elsewhere. This is the greatest lie ever sold. Look at history. Every significant social transformation began with anger. The abolition of slavery, women's suffrage, civil rights. None of these movements started with politeness. They started with people who refused to swallow the comfortable lies of their time, people who embraced their anger as the appropriate response to injustice. But here's where it gets tricky. The system has evolved. It no longer just fights against your anger, it commodifies it. It sells it back to you as entertainment, as cathartic release that goes nowhere, as performative outrage that changes nothing. Your anger becomes another product to consume rather than a force that drives action. We live in the age of manufactured consent, a term coined by Noam Chomsky. The illusion of choice masking the reality of control. The average person believes they make independent decisions while following paths carefully designed by others. Have you ever questioned why you want what you want? Why you believe what you believe? There's a reason why ancient philosophers were feared by emperors. Socrates wasn't executed for being wrong. He was executed for asking questions that threatened power. "The unexamined life is not worth living," he said. And the powerful have always known that the examined life leads to dangerous thinking. The modern world has perfected distraction as a form of control. We're drowning in entertainment, in notifications, in artificial urgency. Meanwhile, the fundamental questions of existence, what constitutes a good life, what we owe each other, what kind of world we want to create, get pushed to the margins. Convenience has become the enemy of consciousness. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly present, not divided between screens, not half listening, not mentally rehearsing what to say next, just fully there, engaged with the raw reality of being alive? Our attention is the most valuable commodity we possess, and we're giving it away for nothing. Men have become the tools of their tools. Thoreau warned us long before smartphones and social media. He understood that every technology reshapes not just what we do, but who we are. Each convenience carries a hidden cost, a piece of our autonomy, our self-reliance, our ability to be fully human. The system doesn't want you angry. It wants you entertained. It wants you anxious. It wants you insecure, it wants you consuming, but above all, it wants you alone. Isolated anger burns itself out. Collective anger changes worlds. Ask yourself, why are we increasingly divided along every possible line? Who benefits from our inability to find common ground? What forces profit from our mutual suspicion? The greatest threat to any power structure is solidarity among those it controls. We're told repeatedly that human nature is fundamentally selfish, competitive, greedy. But is it? Anthropologists have discovered that for most of human history, we lived in remarkably egalitarian societies. Cooperation, not competition, defined our species' success. The myth of inevitable selfishness serves those who want to justify a system built on exploitation. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Jiddu Krishnamurti understood that what we call normal is often just collectively sanctioned madness. Your anger might be the healthiest part of you, the part still capable of recognizing absurdity when you see it. Consider how we treat the natural world, made as nothing but resources to extract, commodities to sell. We've forgotten that we are nature, inseparable from the living systems we're destroying. The indigenous wisdom we dismissed as primitive understood what our sophisticated science is only now rediscovering. Everything is connected. The greatest magic trick of modern power is convincing us that change is impossible, that there is no alternative, as Margaret Thatcher famously claimed. History proves otherwise. Every system humans have created can be recreated. Nothing is inevitable except what we accept as inevitable. Social psychologists have documented a phenomenon called pluralistic ignorance, where privately many people reject a norm, but publicly support it because they incorrectly assume others accept it. How many of our collective problems persist simply because everyone is waiting for someone else to speak first? Let me ask you something personally now. What would you do differently if you truly believed your actions mattered? If you knew your choices were shaping the world your children will inherit? If you understood that your silence is interpreted as consent? Hope has never trickled down, it has always sprung up. Historian Howard Zinn recognized that meaningful change never comes from those comfortable at the top. It emerges from those who refuse to accept the unacceptable. Your anger, properly directed, is the seed of hope. We've been conditioned to see anger as destructive. But there's a world of difference between blind rage and righteous indignation, between hatred and the fierce love that demands better. The philosopher Aristotle knew this when he wrote, "Anybody can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, and to the right degree, and at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. The world breaks everyone eventually." The question is what you do with those broken pieces. Do you hide them away, pretend they don't exist, or do you use them to cut through the illusions you've been sold? Look at the lives we're living, rushing between obligations, forever distracted, increasingly isolated despite constant connection. Is this really the best we can do with the miracle of consciousness, with the gift of being alive in a universe capable of knowing itself? Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of the fierce urgency of now. He understood that complacency is complicity, that neutrality in times of moral crisis is itself a moral choice, that there is no waiting for a more convenient season to stand for what is right. The systems governing our lives count on your exhaustion, on your cynicism, on your belief that nothing will ever change. Your anger is dangerous precisely because it rejects these assumptions, because it insists that a better world is not only possible, but necessary. We face unprecedented challenges: climate breakdown, technological disruption, social fragmentation. The old maps no longer guide us. The old stories no longer sustain us. We need new thinking, new values, new ways of being together on this planet. And none of this will emerge from comfortable conformity. The philosopher Albert Camus wrote that the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Your freedom begins with refusing to outsource your thinking, with questioning what you've been taught to accept, with recognizing the difference between what is and what could be. Remember, Every right you enjoy, every freedom you exercise, every protection you take for granted was won through struggle, through the courage of those who refuse to accept injustice as natural or inevitable. Their anger changed history. Yours can too. So, no, I won't tell you to calm down. I won't tell you to accept things as they are. I won't tell you that your anger is unreasonable, because if you're truly paying attention, if you're fully awake to what's happening in our world, anger isn't just appropriate, it's essential. The question isn't whether you should be angry. The question is what you'll do with that anger, how you'll transform it from a burning coal that harms you into a focused flame that lights the way forward. Those 5,000 daily advertisements I mentioned, they're not just selling products. They're selling resignation, distraction. They're selling the idea that consumption is the answer to existential emptiness. Your anger is the beginning of your immunity to these messages. It's the first step toward reclaiming your sovereignty. Remember the words of philosopher Bertrand Russell. The trouble with the world is that the stupid are cocksure and the intelligent are full of doubt. Your doubts, your questions, your refusal to accept easy answers, these are not weaknesses. They are your greatest strengths in a world drowning in false certainty. A better world is possible, but it will never arrive without those willing to demand it. So stay angry, stay questioning, stay awake. Thanks for watching.